Hello knitters, Barbara Benson here. I'm an independent knitwear designer who also likes to make videos here on my YouTube channel, Watch Barbara Knit. If you'd like to know more about my knitwear designs, please check in the description below, and there you will find a link to my Ravelry page where you can see all the patterns I have available for you to get and knit up for yourself. Also in the description below, you will find a link to the Watch Barbara Knits Facebook group. We'd love to have you come over and join us so we can continue the conversations that we start here on the YouTube channel. And as always, love chatting with people in the comments. I love it when people say hi and give me their thoughts. So make sure, if you feel the need to comment down below. I try to respond to as many as possible. It is the first video of March 2019, and so it is time for a Fave 5. Now, what Fave 5 is me picking a theme and then looking through Ravelry and picking out 5 patterns that are my current, like right now, favorite that revolve around that theme. I am not saying that these are the only patterns out there that fit this theme, and I'm not saying that, you know, these are the best patterns, I'll fight you for it. These are the patterns that are currently catching my eye, that I'm excited about, that I'm looking through and going, ooh, I'd love to knit that. That would be awesome. So that is what these patterns are. And actually, this month, my theme came around in a little different way, because I started seeing these specific patterns pop up and they had a common thread, and it inspired me, and I'm like, ooh. And so the first one of these patterns I'm going to show you is called... and by the way, I have everything up on my secondary screen over here, so you'll see me looking to the side, and that just means I'm looking over here so that I can make sure to have all the right information for y'all. But this is the first one that really just grabbed my eye and started the whole ball rolling on this theme, which is my Fave 5 patterns to knit up with your rainbow yarn. Because who doesn't love rainbows? And, you know, we all will frequently have scraps. Some of these are appropriate for scraps, but multicolor, I just am thinking rainbow, but these are things that you can use these multiple colors and they still hang together beautifully. And this first pattern is called Royal Rainbow by Tong. And it's just gorgeous. You're going to see this picture over here. It is one of my current favorite things right now, which are these cowlets, which are hybrid cowls slash shawls. You know how a lot of people like taking the shawl and wearing it what I call bandit style, where you take it and instead of wearing it hanging off your back like your awesome knitter cape, you move it around, and so it hangs in the front, and you usually cross the ends and they dangle down. But what a cowlet does is it starts with that shawl shape, but then joins to knit in the round and then is continuing knit. So instead of having to twist it and fiddle it and everything, you just stick it on your head and it hangs like you're draping a shawl. So it makes life a little bit easier, and it's just, I really like them. This particular one is knit, and this is what kicked me off, and it's a brand new thing. It's called Glow Up Knitted Wit. Knitted Wit is the yarn company. They have no idea I'm doing this. I've never even actually knit with their yarn, but it's beautiful and I'm gonna have to now. And they gave multiple different designers these same kits, I guess, where it's a solid color yarn and then these multicolor minis that are specifically designed to be this color. I think they called the color Glow Up, and I just love what Angela did with this, that you've got the eyelets, the lace in the gray, and then those really distinct rainbows, and then along the end the absolutely beautiful little picot hem. I know I have featured Angela before. She's like the queen of the trim, just beautiful edgings. I just love them. But I just love this. It's a great pattern. It's a top-down triangle shape. So you start down like you're making a top-down triangle. Then after you join, you eliminate what would be it continues to have the increases down the center, but you eliminate the edge increases so it doesn't flare out anymore, but it keeps on getting that triangle shape in the front. It's just absolutely beautiful. This little frilly trim is so much fun. And it takes... So one solid skein that's 400 yards of fingering weight, and then the multi-minis. So they look like they're 45 yards a piece. And how many colors do we have here? Boop, 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 boop. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think there's like 6. Let's see. Pink flavor creamsicle, a solar flare, astonishment. Perry W. Inkle. Oh, that's fantastic. And Fighting Iris. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Haha, I can count. So you need, what I can't do is math. So I'm going to pull up my handy dandy calculator. So 45 times 6 equals 270 yards in total of that extra rainbowy type yarn. So super cool. I will put a link in the description below to all of the patterns I'm discussing here, but also in the description below under this one will be a link to the Glow Up Knitted Wit collection so that you can see, and there's 10 different patterns all that use some combination of a solid and this rainbow. If you want to see, they're more bonus rainbow patterns. And the thing is I wanted to do that because you can get this pattern by itself, or it's part of the ebook with a whole bunch of other rainbow patterns. But this was my favorite and I loved it. And it's what kicked this off. So the next one, I'm going to go to a completely different direction, except for it's still a neck thing. So it's not 100% completely. This is the Paint Drip Scarf by Xandy Peters. And I think that you can see right away why I think this would be a perfect pattern for rainbow yarn. It is designed, it is a worsted weight, and it's designed to use up worsted scraps, or you can, specifically buy yarn for this if you wanted to plan a specific rainbow, which is what I'm visualizing. It's knit on a size 10 needle, so that's going to knit up pretty fast and be loose and drapey with the worsted weight. And this uses a specific technique that Xandy developed called stacked stitches, where you're using increases and decreases to create the kind of jaggy patterning that you're seeing. So you're not stranding anything across the back. It's the stripes actually go like this and then make like turns and go around. It's crazy. She says that she has videos on how to do it, but if you wanted to learn a new technique, I think this would work really well. I just love this technique and I love the way it looks. So I may have shown it, you might have seen it before on one of my videos. I just think it's super cool. And also the picture is very funny, and you know how I like to laugh. So again, this is worsted weight yarn. You need a total of 540 to 600 yards of this. And I think it would make a fantastic rainbow project. Now, the next one we have is it's actually a set. It's the composition book Cowl, and there's also a set of mitts. I believe you can get them separately or together. And this is another fingering weight. And honestly, I had picked all these out and was working on going through them. And this is 100% a coincidence. This was also done in Knitted Wit yarn. Apparently Knitted Wit likes the rainbows. I don't know, because when I was looking at it, I was like, oops. This is the same yarn. It was a total coincidence, but I think it's really cool. And also, y'all notice that it is slipped stitches. Did I say what? Shannon Squire. This is by Shannon Squire. So I really I use these composition books. You know what she's talking about? Those composition books that have the modelly gray on the front. I use them all the time to write notes in. My husband does. So this one, I really liked it. And then she's got the slip stitch patterning that combines this mottled black with these different running through a rainbow color. And I think it looks really cool. And I know I've designed quite a bit of mosaic. Getting your mosaic to actually be visible and to pop when you're using such a busy yarn as this black and white yarn is really quite an accomplishment. And it's because it's a very simple mosaic pattern that has really bold effects to it. So I can pretty much guarantee you this is going to be a fairly easy knit. And it's gonna look cool. I encourage you to click through the description below. There's some other pictures that shows how the slip stitches actually distort the fabric on this. And you can also see that she's got the cowl and the fingerless mitts. And apparently if you have the whole skein of the modelly black and then the minis, you can make both the cowl and the fingerless mitts. So you can make a matching set or not, you know. And again, if you have rainbow yarn or if you have like scraps, you could definitely do that here. See what size. We're talking about a US size 4 needle, which is a little on the tiny side, but you could do it. I just really like this one. She used 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so there are 6 different multicolors. So that's your rainbow, and then the modelly color. Did she tell us what? I think it says Rock Candy Black is the name of the modelly color. And I really think she nailed it with the composition book look. So I really like this one. So that is the composition book Cowl and Mitts by Shannon Squire. Also rainbow. And the next one we have, going back to worsted weight. I didn't want these to be all fingering weight. I tend to be drawn to fingering weight, but I tried to mix in a couple other weights here. This is another worsted weight, and this is Swimming in Colors by Kirsten Kapoor. I really wanted to get a hat in here because I love the idea of wearing a rainbow on my head. I think that's super fun. And again, we have slip stitches. So I kind of have a common theme. This theme brought together a lot of the same things that obviously it's what was really speaking to me this month. And this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Apparently there are 6 colors in a rainbow. And this is 6 colors. It is knit on a US 4 and a US 5. The 4 is going to be for the ribbing, so it keeps it on your head, and the 5 for the body. And this one looks like it will be super fast to knit. It's got a very simple slip stitch pattern on it. And I think it looks great. I like this. It's a slightly different. The colors she chose are not quite rainbow, but you can see where the rainbow would come in here. She knit this in M-Yak Baby Yak, M-Yak Tibetan Cashmere Pop colors. I don't know. They sound awesome. They are 50-gram skeins, so they're smaller skeins, which would be a wonderful thing because then you're not going to have as many leftovers. So these smaller skeins, these would be great patterns for small, like half skeins of yarn. What else can I say about this hat? It's just pretty. I think it's very elegant, a little less woohoo in your face than some of the other ones that I thought were very playful. This one is a slightly more understated rainbow, but I still think absolutely beautiful, and it looks like it would be a fun and fast knit. So that's Swimming in Colors by Kirsten Kapoor. And then I couldn't resist a final shawl. You know, you know how I am. This is Mini Maximization by Sarah Jordan. And again, a lot of these that we've been looking at, they're ways to use up multiple small skeins or your scraps. And this is just a stripe fest. I think it's great. I think it's real straightforward. I also like the fact that what she talks about is it's open-ended. As you are going down and creating these stripes, since it's a top-down crescent-shaped shawl, if you have more yarn, you can just keep going. You can make it bigger and bigger, or you can stop it shorter. You do it however you want. You can bring in multiple colors. You can stripe it. You could do like 100% rainbow with this. She did it in Fiber Nymph Dye Works Bounce. I'm not familiar with that yarn, but it sounds fun. And it's a merino nylon blend. It's fingering weight. And she said the yardage listed between 100 and 1,000 yards. You have a sense of humor, Tara. I like that. So I'm guessing the 100-yard one would be like a little tiny neck thing. That might be a slight bit of silliness. But she also says that you can work it at any gauge you like. Simply swatch until you get a fabric you like. And you know what? I am all for that. So while this was designed to work with fingering weight yarn, it should work with just about any weight yarn that you want to use and that you have scraps for. When it comes to shawls, one thing that I recommend if you're trying to take and figure out, like take a pattern like this, and figure out what size needles you would need to use with it. Look at the size needle that your ball band recommends and go up 1 to 2 sizes to start. Like this is in fingering weight. She did it on a 4. I tend to knit fingering weight yarns on 5 when I'm trying to get a shawl, but I do a lot of lace. If you're going to do a sport weight shawl, if you wanted to try to do this in sport, I would probably start swatching on a 6 or a 7 to see if you can get a nice drape that you like this fabric in. It's stripes, probably the easiest. I always say that slip stitches are the easiest color work, but really stripes are the easiest color work you can do because there's nothing extra going on. You're just knitting stripes. Let's see what else. And she does. It's a cozy shawl. There's no lace in it. It's just got a nice texture to it, and it's got some really pretty colors. It says the technique used to create the stripes is technically intarsia, but done in such a way that you do not need to have small bobbins. This is very interesting. You will have 2 skeins of yarn attached to your work at any given time and use some strategically placed short rows to achieve this effect. That is interesting. So there's more going on here than I originally anticipated, which is really cool. She wants you to be able to do a provisional cast on, pick up stitches along a garter edge, increase and work any method of short rows. So there's more to this shawl than meets the eye, which I am very curious about. Now I'm looking at the picture real hard. But it's beautiful. I was wondering how she got the shape that she got, because it's different than what I normally get, but love it. So this is mini maximization, the idea that you can maximize the usage of your minis if you have a bunch, or scraps. And again, I like this one because you can work it at any gauge, because you might have a rainbow of yarn in multiple different weights, and you need to be able to wear your rainbow. So that's it for this month's Fave 5. We had the cowlet and a scarf and a cowl and mitts and a hat and another shawl. Well, this is technically the only shawl because the first one was a cowlet, so I only did one shawl. Let me know in the comments below if you have some rainbow yarn that you were looking to use up, or a bunch of scraps, and if one of these patterns tickled your fancy as much as it did mine. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, click that like button, and if you like to be notified whenever I upload a new video, please subscribe to my channel and select notifications. And if you happen to have a suggestion for a future Fave 5 that you'd like to see, I am always looking for inspiration. Thank you so much.